Hello, and welcome back to the Coach to Confidence podcast. You'll always be very happy to realise that it's not just me talking by myself today. I have the lovely Tayla, who is going to introduce herself, tell us a bit about her and who she is, I guess.
Put me on the spot.
Yeah, no pressure.
So I am Tayla. I started as a client with Liv. It's nearly 2.5 years ago now. And I'm now a coach. And do you know my 1-year anniversary is in 2 weeks?
That's gone so quick. What the hell?
It's like 20
I feel like it's summer. I mean, I guess it's supposed to be summer. It just doesn't look like summer. Jesus. I'm glad you know, because I don't.
I didn't know until I looked at a post I saw and I was like, 23rd of April, that's like a few weeks away.
Oh, wow.
So yes, nearly a coach for a year now, which is very, very exciting. Yeah. What else do you want to know?
I feel like whenever I ask people this on a podcast, I always like introduce them first and then ask them to introduce themselves, and then they're always like, what else do I say? Like that's everything you ask.
Literally, I'm like the most uninteresting person. I do you know what, I was talking about this with Richard the other day, my husband, and he was like, I was like, can you give me a fun fact about myself? Because I've been asked and I have no idea. And he was like, you're not that interested about our things.
I feel like that's mean. I would probably go with you're really into like star signs and like spirituality, or maybe your love of Taylor Swift. I think so they got married literally a year ago today. They got married in Vegas. That's pretty cool. That's a fun fact.
I guess that is a cool.
That is a fun fact. Most people don't get married in Vegas. So
that is
pretty cool.
There was no dodgy Elvis involved. It was in the desert. It was very
it was a very like aesthetic kind of Vegas wedding. Obviously, go check out a photo over on her Instagram. Her handle's at Taylor_coach. And there's some cool ones of her in a wedding dress eating a nice looking burger.
Oh yeah, our wedding breakfast was In-N-Out Burger. And if you've never been to the west coast of America, when you do, and if you do, go to an In-N-Out Burger. It is the best burger you'll ever eat in your life. I have to think about that burger at least 3 times a day. Honestly, diet phase is hard.
What makes it so good?
I have no idea. I just got a cheeseburger and I have no idea what made it so good. Because I don't like raw onions and stuff in my burger, so I was like, take all the crap out. And I was like, this burger is the nicest burger I've ever eaten.
Oh, wow.
I don't know whether it was maybe I was just so hungry because we hadn't eaten all day and it was like 9 o'clock at night.
Oh wow.
And then had the nicest, I think about it a lot. And there's a video of us eating it and we were both not talking to each other on our wedding day, like, this is the best burger.
Do you know what I think? I did Five Guys. Everyone always hypes that up loads.
Yes, I think that's what we were going to do as our 1-year anniversary.
Oh, okay,
To kind of replicate our In-N-Out and go to Five Guys.
It's probably as close as you can get over here, isn't it? Well, there's like is it Wendy's? There's something like there's a Wendy's, but not around here, is there? So
no, they have just opened a Popeyes though.
What happened?
This podcast is going
just talking about fast food so far. Yeah, that's educational content from us. Anyway, so today I'm going to interview Tayla and ask hopefully some more actual, probably useful questions, probably also some unrelated food questions. So Tayla, first and foremost, what would say has been the biggest lesson that you have learned about people and clients in general over the last year of coaching?
I think it's all, everyone's the same. Everyone, as much as everyone's journey is so different, the one thing that everyone has in common, and this was me on my journey, and I think it's the same when you're on your journey, is the lack of patience.
Oh yeah.
No one has patience for themselves and their bodies. No one. I don't. No one does. Everyone wants everything to happen so quickly. I mean, that's the thing, like fast food, you get instant gratification, whereas actually the delayed gratification and the working hard at your goals and things like that, the lack of patience people has is what is probably the number one reason people give up.
Oh yeah.
And actually, if you're like just one more week, you probably would have had that epiphany, or if you just waited that little bit longer, you would have cracked that habit like that. And it's just probably the patience.
Yeah, I think that's a really good one actually, and I think you're so right. Like most people would just do better with patience, and you're so right. Myself definitely included. So we are just as guilty, and we are just as bad for it. Because you do something, you want to see the result. That's a good one. But I haven't asked her any of these questions ahead of time. I'm very much putting her on the spot. She has no idea what I'm going to ask. I don't even really know what I'm going to ask. So this could go anyway. Okay, be the hardest thing that you've had to coach someone through, or the thing that you've found the hardest to coach?
The hardest thing is probably mindset, because everyone's mindset's different. But it is, again, it's not just the patients, it's how hard everyone is on themselves. And when you are kicking yourself when you're down, you should be that's when you should be hyping yourself up. So I found that that's probably the hardest thing, is to help people kind of snap out and realize there are wins in everything, even the ones that they don't feel like wins. Like if you gain a pound on the scales, let's reevaluate your week, and actually there are so many wins in that week, and the scales is just a number, just as an example. And it's so hard to get out of that mindset, but I'd probably say mindset's the hardest.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I think you're really good at that as a coach. I can definitely see that you very much focus on the little wins, and I think that's something like a lot of coaches get very hung up on, like scale weight or like body fat percentage and all of that. And obviously, like we are there to get our clients a result, but also you're so right, like those little wins that don't always seem little, and people don't often like run to celebrate them, are actually really big, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, mindset is hard to coach, definitely, because like
I think everyone has a different relationship with themselves and their own body.
Yeah.
So when you have a mindset, it's probably one that you've built for years.
Yeah.
It's not something, a negative mindset doesn't happen overnight in the same way a positive one doesn't.
Yeah.
So beating a negative mindset out of someone is so hard, and just to kind of tweak that way of thinking, it's not impossible. And you, over time, I would say I've got a good chunk of clients that I've worked with for a long time now, and that you can see them coming out of it.
Yeah.
But it is hard. It is hard. Even me as a coach, I'm like always reaching for you, and I'm like, help me. I know there's a win in there somewhere. And it's just hard to see on your own journey. So that mindset, definitely.
Yeah, and I do think that's why coaching is so important. And like Tayla obviously knows exactly what she's doing, but she doesn't need me as a coach anymore. But that's why both of us believe in coaching so much, is because actually having someone else to be neutral with your journey and actually say that those are wins, or this is something that you celebrate, like is really, really powerful. Because you're so right, like most of us don't appreciate those little things for ourselves. We need someone there, definitely. Speaking of which, going back to your journey a little bit, so run us through a basic, for anyone that doesn't know or hasn't followed her a lot or doesn't kind of watched it all, run us through a brief outline of your journey. It's a long one, so I was going to say, like, just a brief outline. Whatever you feel like you want to say.
So it's really hard, because I really wanted to start a lot sooner than I did. I think the one thing that I told you in the last podcast was that I said, oh, I deleted the message like 3 times before you'd read it, because I was like, I'm not brave enough yet, or I can't do it, or that negative mindset telling you can't do something. And then I finally messaged you, and I remember like messaging you and throwing my phone like, she's gonna think I'm the worst person ever. She can't help me. I'm impossible to help. Like that's the kind of person that I was then. And I remember the first consultation we had on the phone, and I just sobbed for an hour. I mean, I sob a lot. It is a running joke that I'm probably going to cry at any given moment, but I cried a lot because my journey meant so much, and I was so broken, I'd probably say, and how I saw myself and the confidence. I just didn't have any. I was in negative confidence. I had recently was diagnosed with body dysmorphia and disordered eating. So I was like binge restrict, purge in there, and it was just not I was just not in a nice place. So I wanted to, obviously I was getting help with a therapist, but I wanted to educate myself on how to eat, how to fuel myself, and how to enjoy exercise that wasn't just punishment. And that's kind of where you came in. And now, you taught me so much on coaching, so it was good. But yeah, so it was a hard journey. It was not easy, and I think it took 6 months. I think every month I was like, I'm gonna give up. This is my last month. 6 months later, I woke up and I was like, oh, it's working. It was just like that. It was just like an epiphany moment. That's kind of it. It was just hard. It was rough. There were tears, a lot of them, and it was all because I knew I was getting married, and I was turning 30, so on my 29th birthday is when I messaged you, and I was like, help me, I don't want to go into the next decade of my life feeling the way I do. So that's kind of it, really.
Yeah, we do get a lot of people, like, we do obviously get a lot of like brides, but we also definitely get a lot of people with big birthdays and big numbers coming up. Not that 30 is a big number, that sounded really bad for anyone that's really offended by that. 30 is not a big number, I just mean like, yeah, a substantial birthday, there we go.
You can speak something.
I know, like, oh god, in a few years' time I'll be like, oh, I'm 30. But yeah, I think it definitely, it like, those sort of things can really make you reflect and sort of, yeah, want to change. And honestly, I'm very glad that you did message me because we wouldn't be here on this lovely podcast today. And yeah, look, you've come a massive long way from being a client that, like you said, would cry most times we spoke to still crying sometimes, but normally in a positive light as well. It's now more positive than negative. Yeah, it's not just negative tears. Like she does also happy tears.
I'm just an emotional person. It depends what the mood's doing.
To be fair, for me, it depends what day of the cycle it is, because if it's a few days before my period, I'm probably going to cry as well. So put us together at that point in time, the mood of my period, and we're just
full moon and period.
We're crying, definitely.
It's a chaos.
Yeah, it's not a good time. But yeah, you've obviously come a massively long way. So what would you say would, well, obviously you have that 6-month moment, and then you sort of like, okay, this is working. Obviously, when I first asked you to do a photo shoot, what was your gut reaction?
Absolutely not, you're crazy.
Yeah, no, I think any of our clients that do a photo shoot, bar one or two that actually put themselves forward, probably would feel the same way. Cool. And what was the reason that I managed to convince you to do it?
It's a crazy idea, let's do it.
Yeah. See, there we go. It is exciting. There are exciting things about it. She's done exciting things, like just going like, fuck it, let's do it.
I think it was the start of my fuck it. Yeah. So I think I joined in November, it was at the very 2nd of November, I think it was. And my first photo shoot was August, and I was nowhere near where I wanted to be. And I remember, like, for the week leading up to the photo shoot, I was like, oh, I feel sick, I can't do it. And I was like this. I remember driving, I was like, I'm gonna just turn around. But it was something I was like, if I don't do it, I will regret it. And this is what I say to everyone on the team, even not my clients, your clients, when we put in the group chat and when everyone's agreed to join, I'm like, you will not regret it, I promise. I look back at those photos, I'm not happy with them, as in, like, I wasn't happy with my body at the time, but I look back at those photos with joy because I was so brave to do it.
Yeah.
And it was the start of pushing myself out of my comfort zone. And now I'm like, how far out of my comfort zone can I get?
Yeah, I love that. I think it really was, because now you're so right. Like, now when I mention a photo shoot, I mean, you're still like at a photo shoot that everyone is, but you're like, fuck it, let's do it. Like, she was not the one to do a skydive. She was like, let's do a skydive. Now, I don't know what I said yet. I'm also actually similarly inclined. I'm also very much like that. Fuck it. I'm terrified. It's actually on our list. It's on our list of thing. What we put, is it under teaching? Yeah, skydive.
Logistically, it's very hard to plan, guys.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a lot of people. We want to do it as like a group.
Yes.
To raise money for some mental health charities. Like, that's why we want to do it. But yeah, it's really hard when there's a lot of you to plan. So hopefully we'll get some news on that soon. Yeah, looking ahead, I'm like, fuck me, I've actually got a busy 6 months. A lot going on. Jesus. I'm actually going to read my writing, so I can't always read my writing. Fun fact, it was Easter last week, and Jake, my boyfriend, was working, so I was like, right, I'm going to make an Easter egg trail for him. More for my own enjoyment, because he was never going to enjoy this, but I knew that I enjoy doing this. So I made an Easter egg trail, and he comes in, we're all grumpy because he's been at work all day, and he couldn't read any of the things, I've written, so he was like, can you read this for me? So I had to go around the trail with him and read my own writing, and yeah, he didn't really find it that funny, but I actually enjoyed it. So you're holding back the chocolate.
Yeah, just give me the chocolate, I don't want to work for it. But yeah, anyway, so Tayla is now a very brave individual, I'd say, and a very, courageous one, definitely. And I think becoming a coach is actually, let's talk about that, because that's quite an interesting thing. I think with me, it was a bit of a weird dynamic. Like, I went from being someone that also, was struggling with eating disorders and confidence and stuff, to suddenly having a qualification and being able to help others. And like, you are very much, I think there almost comes like a bit of pressure as a coach, doesn't there, to like have your shit together. How have you kind of found that?
That's so hard.
Yeah.
I think that something I've always read was imposter syndrome, and I've never understood it. And I feel like this is so prevalent because healing from disordered eating and body dysmorphia, it's an ongoing journey. It's something that you never really fully recover from because it will catch you off guard when you don't expect it. And there are moments where I do get caught off guard from it, and it will be like, why am I teaching people this? Like, I'm preaching this. How can I preach it if I can't get past that feeling myself? And that then spirals into a bit more. It's something I've kind of learned to like nip in the bud, and I can feel myself. I will message you, and I'm like, this is hard. But when you get past that and you think, actually, I am helping people, and every single person on my team is such an incredible person that making sure that they realise that is enough to get me through.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hard one because there are, like, you see everyone on Instagram, and it's the same when you're comparing your own body. You're like, oh, I'm never going to get a body like that. It's like, oh, I'm never going to be a coach like that. When actually, the only thing that's stopping me is me. And I just, once I get over that, and you do have those moments and blips, it's with any job.
Yeah.
It's with any career or any task or anything. Once you get over that, you're actually like, again, I actually can do a lot more than I think I can.
Yeah, massively. I think, yeah, you can definitely see that as well, like, just with your confidence general with coaching over the last year. I think you've come such a long way with that. But I do think, like, obviously I've done this job for now 6 years, I think, and I don't think it ever goes away. I think as a coach, like, you do always feel like you should have your shit together more than you do. And I think having spoken to a lot of coaches in those 6 years, I think everyone feels the exact same. So any fitness influencer, any coach you look up to, like, they probably do not have their shit together as much as they're preaching.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, our diets are both really, really good. We both train regularly, we both love exercise. We have all the good basic habits. Doesn't mean we're perfect, doesn't mean we tick every single box, doesn't mean that we're, you know, some sort of superhuman, because that is definitely not the case. So I think the good thing about both of us is, like, we are just very relatable to our clients because we've been there, we've struggled with it. And, you know, we're still also on our own journeys, which is quite nice because you see these like coaches that are like shredded to the bone, running around Dubai with these Lamborghinis, and like they're just not. They're living in a different world. It makes a great world.
Good metabolism because
Yeah.
they've done it since they were a kid.
Yeah.
Like, they've never known any different. They were blessed.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, and that's another really good point. That either blessed with really, really good genetics, or probably full of lots of drugs. So that's probably typically why. But yeah, cool. That's a really interesting one. And any of your clients that, so obviously you built up your self-worth to kind of do this job, and also like obviously in your own journey as well. Any of your clients or my clients or anyone out there listening to this who's struggling with their self-worth currently, what would be your like biggest bit of advice? Not to put you on the spot, but also to put you on the spot. Or you can say a few things.
Do you know what? I love this question because it's so hard, and that's what makes it so good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's hard because it's worth so much for someone. But if you are struggling with your self-worth, it's just,
yeah, I think that's me. That is something I probably should prepare people for. I can think of lots of little things.
Like how to build your self-worth?
Yeah, like how to build your self-worth. Or even just how you build your self-worth.
Affirmations.
Yeah. From a spiritual girl over here, yeah.
I try and do them with my niece as well. She's 6 and she's starting to sense body image. It's very sad. So I try and tell her she's strong. I'm like, repeat it with me. I am strong, Oprah style. I'm brave. But yeah, I've just been silly with it in front of their affirmations. They sound ridiculous, but if you say them enough, you believe them.
Yeah, I am a firm believer of what you say.
If you tell yourself I'm fat, you're going to believe it. So why not reverse it and be like, I'm strong. I am worthy of whatever journey you want to start. Like, these are just, they sound so silly, and like to anyone who isn't spiritual, they're like, that's stupid. But I promise you, if you start, just write it on your mirror. So when you're doing your makeup, when you're doing your hair in the morning, you're reading it. You don't have to even say it. Just write it on your mirror. Affirmations, I promise you, are they just change you. Affirmations and oh, I don't know.
No, I mean that's a good one. That is a good one, to be fair. I think affirmations is a good one. I think as well, if you're not someone that like, if the second that we said that, you're like, absolutely not, never. I think like in my own journey, I never really did affirmations as such. I did it at different points for different things, but not really for like my own self-worth journey. But I think I kind of did them subconsciously. Like I literally, basically, I'm a fake it till you make it kind of person. So I just faked it. I faked the self-confidence and self-worth till it suddenly became who I was, which is basically kind of affirmations. Just I wasn't like sat there saying to myself, I just told myself that I wanted to be that person that was confident and brave and to handle these things.
Well, if you think about it, when you're doing something and you're like, oh, I'm a bit nervy about it, and then you turn around and you're like, I can do this.
Yeah.
That's an affirmation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So it's just maybe you don't have to do them in a cringy way.
Yeah.
I think the other thing that I did for my self-worth was push myself so far out of my comfort zone. I had no choice but to believe I could do it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
If you, a bit like fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
If you just have to do it without thinking, because it's the thinking that stops you. So if you think it and then you overthink it and then you're like, I can't get out of this cycle. The thing is, you just rip the band-aid and you do it. So whether that's a photo shoot, whether that's starting your journey, like these are all things that I stopped myself from doing until I just did it.
Yeah.
And I grew confidence because I was like, I survived. And then your self-worth is like, oh,
the world won't fall apart when I do something scary.
My body isn't going to combust because I did something that I was scared to do.
Yeah.
Whether it's jump out of a plane. It might even just be going into the gym.
Yeah,
literally,
that's a good example.
If you're too scared to go to the gym, you don't have to go in and do a full workout and look like a proper gym buddy. You just have to go. You just have to walk in, stand on the treadmill for 5 minutes and be like, that's the first step, I did it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Go and people watch. That's the thing to do in the gym. Get on treadmill, people watch, 100%.
And I guarantee you, you're not looking at anyone else and going, oh, they shouldn't be doing it like that. No, because you just don't think like that. You think, I wish I was like that.
I'm usually like, I wish I had those leggings. They're awesome.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's more like shopping, browsing.
Yeah. And you don't think, why is that person here? You just you think, wow, they must be strong.
Yeah.
They must be brave.
Oh yeah, I wish I could do that.
That's what people are thinking when you get to the gym.
100%.
And that's if they are looking around, to be honest. Now I'm like head on. Resting bitch face saves your life, don't talk.
So one thing we have very much in common apart from Tayla is our resting bitch faces. Yeah. In fact, I've been actually making a conscious effort in this podcast not to sit here with no expression on my face, because I did that on a reel that we filmed ages ago and I watched it back and Tayla was saying some great points and I was just sat there looking so fucking moody and I was like, I can't use that. So now I'm like, right, half smile, pretend like show social emotion. Yeah, we both have quite bad some bitch faces, to be fair.
Yeah, we do.
Which is probably doesn't make us look very approachable. Real nice from you when you chat to us. But yeah, I don't know what resting bitch face like comes from, or means, or I don't know.
It's actually a really good thing because you're using less muscles, which means you don't wrinkle as easy.
You say that, but we also go to the same lady for Botox, and she always tells me that I have a very expressive face.
Oh, I have an eyebrow that's too high, so she has to put extra Botox in it to make it level.
Oh, that's amazing.
So if my eyebrow starts pointing, I'm due Botox.
Ah, see, even with it, I just have so much movement in my face, which is weird because I think I frown a lot. I think I'm a frowny person.
No,
which
you I see your resting bitch face, but that's normally when you're like concentrating.
Yeah.
When you're talking, you're very happy and expressive.
Okay, good. Okay,
and
cool.
Smiling. You're quite a smiley person.
I'm quite a smiley person, so I'm sure the smile line's only doing at some point. But anyway, don't go and get Botox. Right, so sum it all up. Can't think of the last question I wanted to ask. So sum it all up. Tell us what your favourite Taylor Swift song is. Again, horrible question.
It's horrible. Depends on the mood.
That is it. I will let you have that because I would probably say the same thing.
But yeah, I'm a folklore girly.
Yeah.
Any song. If you're in an angry mood, Illicit Affairs.
Oh yeah.
Concept version. But then I also like Reputation. Do you know what? I've been listening to Fearless. I'm in my country mode.
Yeah, I like Fearless.
And I'm really waiting so hard not to play Reputation and Debut because they're not her versions yet, but they're good albums.
Yeah.
If you're not rapping or singing to our song, the original Taylor Swift country song, you just don't know what you're doing.
That is a good one. We're both going to see Taylor Swift later this year, which is very exciting.
That's in June too. You need to add that.
Oh god, I do need to add that. Yeah. Do we have time for a skyline? God. Who knows? But yeah. Do you want to tell everyone, are you able to reveal which area you're going for?
Well,
Are we going to make a secret? I don't know. Should we make a secret? I don't know.
I think my instinct was Reputation.
Yeah.
I'm going to surprise you now because I don't think I've told you my train of thought.
Oh, interesting.
When else do you get to wear colour? I wear black every day.
That is true, yeah. That is true.
I want to be like red or lover or just something bright,
really colourful.
Because when else am I going to get?
Do you know what? This makes me very happy because Taylor refused to wear colour and used to refuse to wear any colour, like any colour. So this is progress in itself. This is huge progress. I like this.
To be fair, if I wear colour, Liv will probably get a text message like, "Guess what? I'm in colour."
I'm in colour. I can't go. Help. Send help.
I'm in colour, and then 10 minutes later, I regret.
Yeah. Please, no photos. Yeah, I'm going. Well, I've got some gold cowboy boots which I bought last year and I haven't tried on, so I need to actually try those on.
You need to try them on.
I need to try those on. Yeah, if I knew where they were, I'd go and get them right now, but I can't actually. They're in somewhere in this house since we moved.
That's your challenge for the week.
Challenge of the week is try on the gold cowboy boots. But yeah, we'll wrap this up here. Thank you so much for watching today. Please go give us a follow. My Instagram is liv_coach. Taylor's is Taylor_coach.
It's underscore.
Oh, sorry.
For both of you.
I don't even know where Instagram's. Okay, double underscore. I don't know if you. Yeah, I forgot. It is, isn't it? I'm glad someone knows.
It gets me every time because Instagram joins it, so it looks like one long line, and I think that's why.
Oh.
Underscore.
Oh god, I've been sending people to the wrong place for years. Anyway, I think people find us, it's fine. Have a good rest of your day, whatever you're doing, and thank you so much for watching this.
Can I interview you next time?
Yes. Yes, we'll do that. I will. Yes. Yes, we can do that. Make me feel awkward and uncomfortable as I've done to you today. We can do that. Okay, watch out for that. Thanks.
Bye.